Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone. Brand new season. We go again. Great to see so many back in chat already. Hopefully, it'll be another good stream. For anyone that doesn't know, we are at Oscar's mom's house currently. By the way, if you could let me know if you could hear and see me as usual in chat, it'd be great. Hello, Nick, our channel member. Tiny Fungus. We will be answering as many of your questions as we can today. And yeah, I'll show you my team as well. So we're after changing things up since the Bob injury, and it's after having like a knock-on effect for a few of my players. But yeah, like I said, I'm currently in Oscar's mom's house, which is absolutely crazy. FPL Focal, absolute legend for letting me stay here. We went for food today, and then we're going down to Fancy Football Fest later, so that should be some buzz. Hello Sam, how are we? Chess Quickies. K Kajar, how do I say that? Kajendran. Opal Astra, how are we? Luke, of course. Pops, good to see everyone in chat. Angel Delight. So yeah, I live stream every game week. Yeah, so we'll be doing this season. As you can see, we're doing a lot more content. We have a normal team selection video every week. We'll probably be doing like a differentials or best picks of the week, and then of course we'll have the deadline stream as usual. But yeah, absolutely buzzing for the new season, lads. Let me know in chat, okay? We're gonna do a poll straight away. Haaland, no Haaland and Salah. So Salah or neither. Sorry, that's what I meant. All right, this is an important poll. As you know, if you're watching a lot of my videos, you will know that we are going without Haaland. No surprise here. Yeah, George, thought you were starting at 4:30. Yeah, I said I started a bit early today because I'm feeling it, and it's the first day of the season, so absolutely buzzing. FPL Freddy, how are we? Anish in chat. So yeah, like I said, I'm in Oscar's house, so it's a change of scenery, and I don't have my green screen either, so that's why the camera is like that. But it shouldn't matter too much. And let me know what you think of these new transitions. I think they're beautiful. Hold on, where can I change this one? Have a look at this one. Spent a bit of time on these. So. I think they're class. They're so clean. But yeah, so let's have a little discussion about this poll. I really think that the pricing this year has been absolutely phenomenal. I've said it a few times now on a few different shows. But even if you look at the poll, and for a no Haaland chat, a lot of people are going Haaland, so it's great to see, because variation is what we need in the game. I mean, last year I feel like I got a bit stale towards the end of the game, but now I think this year, like, I know even a lot of the bigger content creators, I think Ross is going without Haaland, Harry's going with Haaland, I know Oscar is going with Haaland, so a lot of people going with no Salah, which I think they didn't learn from their mistake last year. Hopefully we can be right again this year. But yeah, I think there is a case to go both ways though. Perversion says big up Choi from Malaysia. Come on Malaysia. So I got added to a Malaysia versus Hong Kong league this year. Absolutely mad. It's pretty cool. Beats the C from last season. Yeah, downtown. That C was kind of getting annoying, but it was fun for a while. Son all the way. Yeah, Son is still in the team. Okay, before we get into the team, let me bring up a graphic. I have a few graphics from Rob T on Twitter, and we can have just a bit of a discussion before we get into the actual team. So let's bring this up. Okay, so this is projected goals and clean sheet odds. I wanted to kind of add a bit more statistics on here, because I know we're a bit grass all the time, but it can kind of back up maybe some of my opinions and maybe make some more sense for people that don't want to believe what I have to say on its own. So this is a really good graphic. Let me try and make it a small bit bigger. Okay, so Arsenal project to score the most amount of goals in this first game week. I don't think that's a surprise. They play Wolves, and in my opinion, Wolves should be probably projected to be maybe bottom 15 side this season. Now, I just feel like they haven't been great at all. and they're a very interesting team. They like to dribble the ball a lot, but they don't get many places with it. So I wonder, will they be in a relegation battle this season? Again, I'll bring up a Premier League table and we'll do some projections. But yeah, very interesting that Arsenal, of course, top. And it's good to see Spurs, North London rivals, fairly close at 2.2 expected goals. We have our first super chat of the stream from Taylor. He says, "What's good, Choi? You prefer Trent, Eze, JP and Kwanzaa, Gordon and Solanke. Second option can still have Eze plus 0.5. Cheers, fella." Do you prefer Trent, Eze, João Pedro, Kwanzaa, Gordon and Solanke? Okay, so let's start with Kwanzaa. This is actually a fairly controversial one for myself. I know a lot of people are fairly high on Kwanzaa, but I myself, I'm not on that train. For me, on his day, Konate is a absolute monster. I was actually writing a post. I don't think I posted it. I don't know if it'll be in my drafts either. Let me just repost this stream before we carry on. If you could do me a favor in chat, if you could just repost this, be much appreciated. If not, it's all good. I just reposted my stream. I know I don't have it up in the background, but yeah. So like I was saying about Kwanzaa, I'm unsure if he gets all this game time that we think he's going to get. I have no doubt he'd probably get the first game and the second game. But once Konate gets up to full fitness, for me, I know Arne Slot likes to play a different style of football where the centre-halves are a bit better on the ball. But I just think Konate is that good that he has to be starting. I mean, I don't see why not. And Konate is still very, very young. And I know he's littered with injuries, but I think he'll get a bit more game time than we think. So to get back to your question, sorry, who do I prefer, Eze, João Pedro, Kwanzaa, or Gordon and Solanke in Kwanzaa? Sorry. Well, I'm very, very high on Trent, and if Eze stays at Crystal Palace, I prefer Trent, Eze and João Pedro. So I'm after changing my team to not have Eze, which is a bit mad because we were so high on him, and the reason being is because we're kind of projecting a move to City. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be City joins, but the markets kind of favour 60% that he does get moved this season. And the markets don't lie, you can't beat the bookies. So, yeah, I do prefer the first option of Trent, Eze, João Pedro. I think João Pedro is a great option at 5.5. Although no Solanke could be a killer. No Haaland is the move, yeah. Another interesting thing with this graphic is, obviously, Liverpool, 2.65 projected goals against Ipswich. And I think you could have a really good opportunity if you go Jota and Salah. Maybe attack those lower half teams. I really feel like, there is a chance, especially with the next fixture as well. Why not just attack those early fixtures? And same with the Spurs assets. You have Leicester and then Everton at home, so it's ideal on paper. So City projected to score 2 goals, and of course we have no Erling Haaland, so maybe we don't want to stress too much about that. But what I find interesting about that is that Chelsea are projected to score 1.33. I do think Chelsea could potentially score. I won't be surprised at all, but I think I will be starting Guardiola. Okay, so before we bring up our next Rob T graphic, let's get into my team, I suppose. That's why you're here. Let me pull this up. No, shit. Okay, here's the team, and be sure to cook me in chat. But let me kind of explain my case, and maybe you might understand a small bit. So it is after changing quite a bit since my last video, and that wasn't purposeful. It really was the Bob injury that changed a lot for me. But yeah, so what did we change? So Guardiola is gone out and Robinson is gone in, and I think that's quite interesting. Hold on, I'm just gonna pull up another chat window because this one is not working. 2 seconds. But yeah, Guardiola is gone, and it's not nothing to do with him really. It's more so I feel like Robinson could provide really good value and interchange with Barco quite well, and he gives me a bit more funds for an Nkunku and a Jota. So another change was Eze to Jota, and I know I've been so high on Eze this whole time, but it's just a speculation that kind of puts me off him. So I think that double Liverpool attack could be very, very sweet. Okay, let me see what chat is saying before I carry on. 2 seconds, lads. FBL shy. And another change was Nkunku. So Nkunku actually came in for Bob. And it's primarily just because Nkunku is the most underpriced player in the game, in my opinion. He could be very, very, very good value. So I know a lot of people are saying in chat that it's a bit different. Choi, how about Muniz and Wood? Yeah, no, I do like Muniz and Wood. I don't fancy Fulham for the United game. Maybe that's just me. And I know they do have really good fixtures to come. But they're after losing two of their best players. Paulina being probably the biggest out of the two. He's a massive, massive loss, lads. He was one of the best DMs in the league. I know he played for Fulham, but he's shone in that team. What do I think of Chris Wood? So Taiwo Awoniyi is back to fitness, it looks like. I think Wood will start. But I think he'll just have reduced minutes compared to Taiwo Awoniyi. And I think Awoniyi is a really good player as well. What do you think about Jota and Munoz? Munoz is a great option, man. I've hyped him up for a while now. Personally, I prefer Pedro Porro if you can get that 0.5 extra, but Munoz is definitely a great option. For me, Diogo Jota, I kind of had a look at it today, and I was on a 3-hour bus, and I waited 3 hours in the airport, and then my 1 hour flight. So I had a lot of time to tinker with my team. But basically, I came to the conclusion that when Jota is fit, and when Jota gets minutes, he scores and assists, and that's all he does. And I do think he will probably get the first few games. Now Darwin is back, but I don't see him starting in the first two. And then Liverpool play United in the third game, I'm fairly sure. So I've went with Bruno, Salah, Son, and Nkunku, Solanke and Isaac, primarily for their reassurance of minutes. I feel like when you go for João Pedro, and I didn't mean to include Nkunku in the last thing, but João Pedro, Nkunku and Jota, these are players that are high risk of injury, so it is important that you have an eighth attacker and a fourth defender. That's just my opinion though. And then of course Ben Johnson on the bench. I feel like Barco starting over Robinson this week is probably a better shout. So yeah, no Haaland. Am I feeling nervous for game week 2? No, I'm just buzzing for game week 1. I think Fulham had a bad season though, I won't lie. Yeah, but I don't know how much better Fulham will be this season. They broke their transfer record for Emile Smith-Rowe, so it will be interesting because Silva said he wasn't even that fit. But yeah, so another super chat from Willis Tippett. He says Eze and Muniz or Big Dom and Emile Smith-Rowe, much love. I feel like if you're going Dean Henderson on, I thought that was Manoa, sorry, Big Dom and Emile Smith-Rowe, man, I find that hard when you offer me a Solanke. It's basically Solanke versus Eze, and I just feel like the speculation with Eze is probably you're better off to go with Dominic Solanke. Muniz and Emile Smith-Rowe, that's a toss of a coin as well, so I'd go with Big Dom and Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe hasn't been on one of my teams yet, but I don't think he's a bad option. He's an enabler at the end of the day. Okay, so I've shown you my team. You've let me know what you've thought. Quick question from Adam702. What do you think about Njekovic starting 4 million right back for Villa? I didn't even know that, to be honest, but I do expect Consta to probably play there. Gordon or Bone. So Bone is actually an interesting one that's not being brought up at all. And I don't know why, but last year Bone was an unreal servant for me. I had him through large parts of the season, and he always done bits for me. But what do I think of him? I mean, he's their club captain now, and this could be one of his seasons where he does make that step up again. I feel like every season he's getting better and better, so it'll be interesting. Definitely one to keep an eye on if they go onto a better fixture run. Nick, a channel member, says, what do you think about the double up on United midfield, Bruno Fernandes and Garnacho? Look, I think Bruno for sure. You know what you get with Bruno. People might call it a bit of a boring asset, but not for me. I feel like he is the shining star out of that team, and he's an exciting pick, especially with game week 1, the first match day being United and Fulham. I always say it's an extra incentive. What do I think of Garnacho? Garnacho is an interesting one. I would say he's likely to start today, but it'd be interesting to see what happens with Amad Diallo. But I actually think Rashford up top might be a better option than Garnacho. I know it kind of sounds mad on paper, but a brand new season for Rashford. We know when he goes through these purple patches how good he can be. And for 7 million playing up top, it could be a steal come the end or middle of the season, looking back on it. But yeah, Garnacho's not a bad option either. Another super chat from Nate Meg Official. It says no Guardiola. So yeah, no Guardiola, but it kind of let me get the funds to get Jota. So it really was between Jota and Guardiola. And if it's between, you know, a more premium mid compared to 5 million like a Rodgers, I think I definitely would pick a Jota. But yeah, it's not like I don't back Guardiola. I think that City defense will tune up this season, and they won't be as leaky as we seen last season. They had really good numbers last season, and they just happened to concede very late in games, very stupid goals as well. Noah says no Eze. Yeah, so the no Eze is basically just being scared of him getting a transfer. I think you can probably get away with the first game week or two if he doesn't get the move and just transfer him in, because you have the likes of Jota who is replacing him, and Jota in those first 2 games could go nuclear. What about Arsenal assets, says Sharif. Yeah, so I've spoken about this in a few videos. I absolutely back the Arsenal assets 100%. But I just prefer the Spurs fixtures. And if you're not happy with the likes of Son or Solanke, be sure to change them to a Kai Havertz or a Saka. I feel like that Leicester fixture kind of sways it for me with Son. I feel like Son could do very, very well, and he usually does very well against Leicester. So yeah. What about Solanke? So yeah, Solanke, I am expecting him to start the first game of the season. I was very skeptical at certain points, but now I think he is very likely to start. So yeah, leave a like on the stream if you're enjoying it so far. Yeah, thanks George, appreciate it. Evening Choice says FPL Mackham, how are we? Anyone putting in Rico Lewis? I've actually seen a few Rico Lewises, which is actually very interesting, because he's that type of player, whereas if Walker got injured, he'd kind of break the game. So it's definitely one to keep an eye on. Walker does have some dodgy hamstrings at times, and he's priced fairly cheap. Hi Choi, any thoughts on Palmer? Yeah, Palmer is definitely one that's not being talked in the wide community of like X and YouTube, which is mad, but it's primarily because of Nkunku. When you have such a good enabling asset like Nkunku playing for Chelsea, in a position that's like through the centre, and he's getting his minutes up, if he can stay fit, he's probably just better value than Palmer. That's why a lot of people are swaying away from him. But yeah, no doubt about it, after game week 2 or 3, Palmer could definitely come into a lot of people's teams when he inevitably starts scoring. So yeah, is this the final team, bro? So I can't say that, because we could get some changes on Twitter. I'll be sure to keep checking that, by the way. But yeah, like, you never know. If we suddenly get like, oh, Jota is injured or some stuff like that, you know, it could change. Okay, let me bring up this next Rob T graphic. Let me close this. Okay, so this is the projected goal scorers for game week 1. Isaac primarily be like, I can understand that. It's that just because they're at home at St James's Park and they're playing against Southampton, arguably one of the worst teams in the league. I won't be surprised if he scores 2. I'm intrigued to see who people are on captain. I didn't say that with English. Who people are captaining, sorry. Like, if you have both Haaland and Salah, do you captain Salah? And if you have Haaland, Salah and Isaac, do you captain Isaac? Put it in chat who you're on. I'll be sure to read a few of them out. But yeah, these are based on if the player is getting 90 minutes, by the way. So obviously the likes of Darwin, we don't know if he's going to get 90 minutes, but if he were theoretically, this would be the prediction. So yeah, shout out Rob T, again, legend for these graphics, they're so good. Anish says, Son is my captain. You know what, I actually don't mind it at all. I'm big on start of the season, why not take a few risks? It's something I done myself last season, and it paid off for me. So this is a time where you might get away with it, and it's okay. You can afford to drop a few ranks. Like, if you start the season 6 million and then second game week you're still 6 million, you've plenty of time to recover it. So I won't be too stressed about it. Isaac says Luke, Isaac says Adam, Isaac says Gurney, Isaac says Finn. I'm starting to see a pattern here. Thoughts on Watkins. So Watkins has got like no preseason minutes. I think that is the issue with him. I think if he had a full preseason, a lot more people would be looking at him, and there has been a sharp decline in Watkins' ownership since we've seen Solanke. But all it could take is Watkins' nice fixture run, get a brace, and everyone's hopping back on. And I know that's a lot of people's strategy with the likes of Haaland to actually move him on to Watkins in the later game weeks. Also, another thing to note is if Watkins is on penalties, he's a absolutely amazing asset, and he's a must almost. So, yeah, triple captain Emile Smith Rowe. Yeah, imagine. I don't want to beg, but please answer my question, says Luke. Luke, I haven't seen your question. Let me see. Cannon, Bruno, Konsa, and Rhea, or João Pedro, Eze, Gabriel, and Henderson? That is a tough one. I don't quite like the first one. I prefer the second one. João Pedro, Eze, Gabriel, and Henderson. Let's see. Where are we? Thoughts on Gordon? Yeah, this is an interesting one. I feel like Gordon could do very, very well. I'm kind of scared not going with him in the first game week. He's a player last season that I didn't go with just because of my stubbornness, I'll be honest. And week in, week out, he was returning, shooting me and putting the dagger in my heart. Josh Williams says, hello there, Master Choi. Coming off a top 5k last season. Was wondering on my team, I've Hend and Valdi in goal. Okay, Josh, I can't answer that question because it's kind of messy. I apologize. Why is no one talking about Anthony Gordon? Yeah. No, it's just, for me, it's between Jota and Gordon. Gordon at Southampton, and Liverpool have Ipswich. So, I mean, it really is a toss of a coin. I think I prefer Jota for sure, because I thought about that for a while. What do you think about Bruno, Rashford versus Ahmed and Garnacho? Yeah, so Anish, we went through this. I would rank them in that order: Bruno, Rashford, Ahmed if he plays, and Garnacho. I feel like Rashford could be good at 7 million up top. Son or Solanke? Son, just for the penalties. Who's the best 5.5 mid? Interesting question. Probably Minta. Now, I don't really like the fixtures, but if he becomes a talisman, for sure Minta. Do you think Martinelli will start? That is hard to say. I would say likely though. But of course they have Trossard, so but I do think it probably will be Martinelli. Okay, one more graphic from Rob T, and this will be a good discussion in chat. Let me know in chat. Okay, we're gonna do a poll. Who do you have for top 4? I'm not gonna say mine because I don't want to get cooked and sway anyone. But who do you have for top 4? Let's see who you have for the title. I'm gonna add 3 of them just in case people are feeling a bit ambitious. Let me close this other poll. Okay, so the 3 I'm gonna have in the poll are obviously City, Arsenal, and then we'll add one more just for any optimistic fans, Liverpool. Okay. This is interesting, alright. This is how the markets project it. When I say the markets, I think Rob T has a model that runs and takes in a lot of different parameters, and this is what it's come out with. I'm not sure if he's also partnered with 11ify, but 11ify are basically a website that have a model as well, and they run loads and loads and do podcasts about the information. And it's interesting. I was listening, and he's saying that Arsenal have closed. I know we can see it with our own eyes, but Arsenal have closed the gap with City. Yeah, that's why I added Liverpool. I knew there'd be a good few that are a bit optimistic about Liverpool, and we'll get onto them in a sec. But I said I'd just add them just for why not. So a lot of people are on Arsenal, and to be honest, I'd expect that, because realistically, if you're a United fan, you don't want City to win the league again, and you want Arsenal. Okay, so let's just say a large majority of people in here are going Arsenal. If you're a Spurs fan, you're probably voting City. If you're a Liverpool fan, obviously you're voting Liverpool. And then, okay, so we'll close this voting off at 100 votes. Choi, let's see your team. We'll get back to that in a second. But yeah, for me, I have City win the league. Say what you want, but let me explain my case. For me, if Arsenal get one injury to the likes of a Saka, or an Odegaard, or even maybe a Saliba, I feel like their team is heavily impacted by that. Where in comparison, we've seen City get an injury to a Haaland, a De Bruyne, a Walker, just last season, and their team is just so good, and Pep is just so good at replacing these players, that I feel like their depth is so much better. So I do think it will be close, but for me, the little things like that, City edge it for me. And I don't think City were necessarily as good as they usually are last season. So I think they could be a bit better this season. It's interesting. There's 91 votes and Arsenal are leading 38% and now it's tied. City relegated by next season, says Maliki. Yeah, most likely. I wouldn't be surprised. Pep is probably gone as well. Callum says, worried about no Arsenal defenders? Not necessarily. I wouldn't say worried, because for me those two fixtures for Spurs starting the season are very, very good. And then I have a Trent as well, who's a premium. So no Arsenal last brave. I know. Squad depth is winning them the league. Yeah, I agree. Thoughts on Diaz? Diaz is interesting. I expect him to start in the left wing. I just don't like that his minutes will be interchanged with a Gakpo, a Jota and a Darwin. 3 players that can all play left wing. I would probably lean of staying clear of Diaz. Alvarez is a huge miss for City. Yeah, 100%. But the sale of Julian Alvarez was good. 103 votes. Okay, we'll close that. It's 39-39. Okay, 40-38. We'll end it there. Sorry to the Arsenal fans. Okay, so let's just say you have those for your top 2. Let's do Chelsea, Tottenham, Newcastle United top 4. And apologise to the Villa fans. But I'm not including you. Let me know in chat if I'm wrong for not doing it. So Newcastle, Spurs, United. Who else? Chelsea. That's what I'm missing. I'm intrigued to see who you have here, because this one's tough. This one is tough. What are your thoughts on having Jota and Diaz? I would just get Salaman. Jota's not bad. Diaz, I don't know. You might see some minutes rates. Why are United 40%? This is crazy. Hey, do I start Kwanzaa or Nkunku? You always start the attacker, in my opinion. As long-term injuries to Haaland, Rodri, Odegaard, Saka could easily decide the league. Yeah, 100%. But Taylor, we've seen Haaland miss a lot of games last season. But yeah, you're right. What's your team? Okay, we'll bring it back up there in a second. Let's see. Sorry, Master Strike. At last, FPL chairman is live. Okay, let me bring back up the team. Where are you? There you are. Okay, there's my team. A lot of decisions to be made. A lot of decisions to be made. I think I'm fairly happy with it though. I mean, the only thing I could change between now and the deadline is probably Son to Saka. But I'm unsure. Be sure to vote in that poll, please. Spurs currently winning 37%. United 29%. Newcastle and Chelsea 17%. Interest. Mitoma or Bailey? Bailey all day, man. Bailey is definitely underlooked. Are you planning on using your triple captain game week 1? No, not at all. I don't plan on it. I prefer to use that planning later in the season. I feel like you get more joy, especially with the mystery chip. You never know what it might be, and you just want to keep as much as you can. By the way, I'm on a later wildcard, as late as possible. I try not to set it too early because you never know what's going to come up in the season. By the way, if anyone knows Oscar's dog, Teddy, I have him right here. Hold on, let me bring him up. Wait until you see this. I've absolutely captured him. One sec. This is Oscar's dog, and I've absolutely taken him hostage. But yeah, for anyone that wasn't here, I'm in FPL Focal's house, and he was kindly enough to let me stay here before we go to Fest. So anyone that watches him, you will recognize this dog. Jordan Madalena with the super chat says, "Hey Choi, Son plus Havertz or Solanke and Palmer, please." I prefer Son and Havertz, in my opinion. Man said cooked. Yeah, for me, Son and Havertz for sure. Solanke and Palmer are good. Don't get me wrong, but I think I prefer Son and Havertz. Solanke or Trent? I would say Solanke. You happy with starting Pedro? I wouldn't say happy, but it's probably the best best way you can spend 5.5. Where in Ireland are you from? Says brother Cron. I am from Waterford. down south. What is Fest? Okay, so for anyone that doesn't know what Fest is, it's basically a meetup with a lot of the community and a lot of the big content creators. And this is my first time going. Everyone is free to go. You just need to buy a ticket. It's currently held in Vauxhall. But yeah, a lot of the big guys are there. And if you have an interest in fantasy football or you just want to meet up with a lot of like-minded people, it's definitely the place for you to go. So me and Oscar will be taking the train down. He's literally down the road. Someone said, you and Oscar should stream together then. Yeah, no. So Oscar is currently at his house. Yeah, we will eventually, I imagine. But yeah, today is separate for the first game week. What is your current plan in game week 2 that affecting your game week 1 draft? Chelsea have a great game week 2 onwards. Will you bring in Palmer in game week 2, even though Nkunku already in the team? I can't see myself bringing in Palmer, especially with Everton at home for Son. I think it's unlikely I do that. But yeah, Nkunku is fine for me. I'm reluctant in starting him for the first game week though. I don't know why. Just find it hard to start any player versus City. Did you consider Bob to Emile Smith-Rowe and Konsa to 4.0? That is definitely one of the things that I initially did. Well, first what I done was Bob to Rodgers, but I just feel like I wanted to upgrade that midfield spot. Like Rodgers does, like, don't get me wrong, Rodgers is a great option. But when I compare them to the likes of a Bruno or Jota, obviously they're more expensive, and Nkunku, he blows them out of the water, and it is well worth the upgrade. Mario says that's sick. Yeah. Why did you choose that picture of Patrick? I love it. Okay, so let me give you some insight on the Patrick logo for anyone that is new. So when I became a streamer, or I spawned in on YouTube for say, not a streamer. Basically, I had to pick something, and at the time, I went with no Haaland, so it was kind of like, oh, this guy is being a bit different about things. So I wanted to have an image where, like, someone is being chained up for going a bit different about things, and as you can see, people shouting at him for doing things differently. So yeah, that's all that is about. But I'm glad you like it. Let me get back to some of your questions. Trippier or Guardiola? Guardiola for sure. Is your deadline right? Is my deadline right? My deadline is not right. I always manage to get it wrong. It resets when I reopen my OBS. Let me fix it. I'll fix it at 5 o'clock, so I'll change it to an hour and a half. Try get Carvalho for 5 mil. Yeah, it's not a bad option. I just don't know how he's going to slot into that team. It could be definitely an interesting option though. Is Burgle being slept on? 100 million %. He could start game week 1, especially with Basuma being out for smoking laughing gas. I couldn't believe that. I'm just so surprised. Like, a professional footballer, and it's a week before the season. Like, what? Yeah. But yeah, it's probably rightfully so that he's suspended. Yeah, Patrick wasn't known for being the smartest. That's true. Did you see the videos of the players and why you should pick them in FPL? Who made that video? I'm not quite sure which one you're talking about. Porro or Gabriel and Saliba? Look, if you could have that extra 0.5, definitely a Gabriel, I would say. Kwanzaa or Hall? I think I prefer a Hall. Kwanzaa if he plays, but it's just hard to say. But Hall, I feel no, probably Kwanzaa, because Gahey is likely to go to Newcastle. Choi, do you think Jota or Emile Smith-Rowe plus Wood? Definitely Jota. I was kind of in the same predicament of Wood and a 5 million, but it's just not worth it. The fixtures of Brighton aren't that great. Why do you have 2 of them? So the 4 million is just kind of whoever. It doesn't really matter. João Pedro on penalties, talisman in my opinion, and it's just for that opening fixture. I won't play him until probably the 4th game week where they have Ipswich. Come on, you Spurs. FPL Pickle in chat, how are we? Hope you have a top season again, boss. Yeah, you had a fairly good one yourself. You almost overtook me. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, I finished the season 1,839. And I think you were just about at the 2,000 mark. Is that right, Pickle? But yeah, let's see if we can replicate that. Choi, I've read that Solanke might not start the first game. Yeah, send me on that. I haven't quite seen that. Adam Souza, welcome back to the stream. Good to see you again. What's up, Choi? Best of luck for the season. What do you think of starting Emile Smith-Rowe slash Minta over Muniz? Yeah, for game week 1, I would start Minta against Everton over Muniz. Maybe that's a bit controversial, but that's just me. Full thoughts on Minta. Talisman, rotated, cheers. I'm very high on Minta. When I say I'm very high, I heard very, very good things about him. And the reason I kind of know this is because he sounds like a great place for Tottenham. But I don't know. I feel like Minta has had an amazing preseason, and if Brighton can pick up some form with their new manager this season, I think Minta might be that man. I know Mitoma's back now, and they just have to sign the striker. So I think they'll play a 4-2-4. We might see 2 strikers up top, one beside João Pedro, and Mitoma on the left, and of course Minta. So I'm not sure for certain what I expect for Brighton this season, but you would probably expect between maybe 10 and 15, maybe 10 and 12. But yeah, let's look at the fixtures for Brighton. So I'm starting João Pedro for Everton away, and then of course the 4th and 5th fixture, which is Ipswich and Nottingham Forest. I'll be staying clear of probably Arsenal and United. And I know on paper that United fixture probably looks good, but I think I am good. By the way, if you don't already, use a fixture planner like FPL Team. It's just so much handier for when you're looking at your future fixtures. And I use that a lot to plan my team, because like whatever for this week, but it's important for the next 5-ish, I would say. Lots of questions. Jake Saxton says Eze plus Barco or Bailey plus 4.5 defender for game week 1. Yeah, why not? Those 3 are definitely good options. I like Bailey for sure. I was speaking to FPL Villain on Twitter, and I know he absolutely loves Bailey. The only thing he did say that was worth saying is Rodgers for the 1.5 less could probably be better value. Eze and Guardiola or Bruno plus 4.5. That's exactly what I've done. I've gone Bruno and 4.5. So that's the exact thing I had, Eze and Guardiola, and I knocked them down just to get Bruno. Just because, like I said, you want a lot of players that you can count on. And if I went with Eze, that would be another player like the likes of João Pedro and Kunku, Jota, that mightn't play. So it wasn't worth risking. Let me bring back up chat, 2 seconds. Let me close this poll for the top 4. So it's actually a draw between United and Spurs for top 4. Look, I have to say you're fairly deluded in my mind if you think United are getting top 4. No, I'm joking. For me, top 4 will be City, Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool. And we'll leave it at that. We won't speak too much about that. HI, what's in it for the winner of your league? I will have a prize for the top 2. What exactly, I'm not sure, but we'll have some. Let me know if any of you in chat are going to Fancy Football Fest. Be sure to come up to us if you do. FPL Picker says, I was close, game on. Yeah, maybe this season. I'm just looking for a top 10k. Every single season that has been my goal. And I feel like it should be everyone's. And I know the player base is growing year on, year out, but the active player base probably isn't. But yeah, Choi, where's your league code? My league code is EH47SU. Don't quote me on that. I think it's that. I should probably check just in case I'm sending it into someone else's league. Let me check. Thank you. Let me see. Where is my league code? Choi Waterford. Nope, wrong one. FPL Choi YouTube. FPL Choi YouTube. There you are. Okay. How do I find the league code? Man, I suck. Invite people. Okay. Yeah. EH47SR. Let me put that in chat just to make sure. Be sure to join. We'll try to get as many people as we can. What's for the winner? Yeah. So I haven't thought about the prize yet. It's SR. My bad. I haven't thought about the prize, but hopefully something nice. I want it to be something personal rather than just money. I feel like money is just kind of whatever, like, you know what I mean? Whereas if you got something cool from me, you'll remember it at least. Thoughts on Areola over Henderson? Look, I don't know about that. My brother done the same thing. He's Areola. He's high because they're after signing Todibo, which is fair. Todibo could definitely make a difference, but I don't know, man. West Ham are just kind of West Ham, and I still project them to finish maybe the lower half of the season, or lower half of the table, maybe the bottom 8, not relegation zone obviously, but between maybe 12 and 15. And it's the same reason for why I'm not picking Forest players. I know you can have really good underlying stats, but if you're coming near the end of the league table, it's never a good look for your defense. So that's some of my thoughts there. World number 2 is Brazy. Yeah, I know, yeah. Is Watkins going to start? I would say so, yeah, 100%. Would you feel Rodgers or Emile Smith-Rowe? For game week 1, I would probably do Rodgers. Best 5.5 City defender. I want to say Akanji, but I don't know why. I can't even give you a valid reason, so I would probably pick Akanji. What is your plan if Haaland, if he gets boomed? Do you think to get him? So I assume you mean if Haaland bangs. What is my plan if Haaland bangs? I will do nothing. I will keep the same team like I did last season. Haaland scored a brace on the first day, I'm fairly sure. And then a hat-trick, I want to say, in game week 3 or 4. Look, if you're going no Haaland, you just have to stick with it. Like, if you change and you go chasing points, you'll be left behind. And you just have to hope that, well, not hope, but believe in the players that you do pick. And when you stop believing in your players, that's when you should get rid of them and try to get Haaland. I will say, though, I probably will bring him in at some point during wildcard. So we'll see. João Pedro really has a chance to be nailed? Yeah, I would say so, man. I do think there is a chance. No City player. Okay, yeah. So, this is a good point. No City player. This is where I think I'm going wrong also. And that's why I was so happy with Oscar Bob to try cover some of that City attack. But now we're looking a bit dry with no City players. What to do about it, I don't know. I can't get Haaland because I like the structure of the team. I'm unsure about a Foden if he's going to play. I'm unsure about KDB. Bernardo Silva, no Bob. So there's not many other options I can go for that I'd be happy with starting the season with. And if you look at the players that we have in my team, so we have, what's that, 4 penalty takers. 5 penalty takers, okay? And majority are away fixtures, but they're playing the bottom half of the table. So in comparison, it's not bad at all. And City have Chelsea away, which mightn't be the easiest fixture in the world. I know last season Chelsea put up a fight. Welcome back, bro, says General G-Spot. Interesting name. Start Guardiola or Kwanzaa. Probably Kwanzaa. Would be double Liverpool defence. Yeah, I probably would throw all my eggs in one basket there. I'm going no Trent. I think no Trent is a dangerous game. His ownership is very, very high. And also, I just feel like with those fixtures at the start of the season, Liverpool seemingly have like a lot of energy going into the new season. And Arne Slot will play Trent in a position where I think he is fairly advanced. 7 million, a price drop, the least we've seen him at for a long time now. I don't see why not. But yeah, obviously, if that money gets you another attacker elsewhere, it can make up for it. Light says, FPL Choi, is Saliba, Kwanzaa, Hall, Mikalenko and Harwood Bellis a good backline? It is a very, very good backline, especially with the rotation you have. I actually really like Saliba. I know I sometimes downplay some of the Arsenal assets. Actually, while I'm here, let me fix this timer. Change it to an hour and a half before I forget. I suck at setting this timer, man, because it always resets. Hour and 28 it is. Okay, better. Let me know if that breaks again. Let me bring back up chat. Jota or Gordon? Jota. I spent a lot of time with this. I think Jota. Thoughts on starting Kunku over João Pedro, same attack. Look, there's no Rodri, don't get me wrong. No Rodri could look beautiful for Chelsea, and we've seen previously that that City are more frail without the likes of Rodri. But I don't know, man. Chelsea are such a mixed bag, it's so hard to say. Whereas I feel Everton is a nice fixture for João Pedro, and he's on penalties. So I lean towards João Pedro, but if you went on Kunku, I'd understand. Hall or Burn? I want to say Hall, but with Gahey likely coming in, I don't know how safe it is. I know Burn can also play left back, so maybe it is an avoid. I don't want to give my opinion on that, to be honest. What's this? There's Lozy in chat. Hello to all 500E, by the way. Welcome to the stream. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is a weekly thing, and I'll try to get back to as many of your questions as possible. Bench João Pedro or Rodgers? I'd be benching Rodgers. Why Barco? That Everton away fixture is nice for Barco, and I do expect him to start. Emile Smith-Rowe or Murphy? If I had Murphy, it would 100% be Murphy. I feel like that game week 1 fixture for Newcastle is mainly why I would bring Murphy in and go for a punt like that. I feel like come game week 2 and 3, you'll maybe be questioning yourself why you have Murphy. The only thing I say about Murphy is he's inclined to be subbed off early. I want to say around 60 to 70 from what I remember. Troy, you forgot to do the deadline. I don't know what that means. Will Haaland score a brace like he's done in the last 3 opening games of the season? Going off that logic, maybe he does, but Salah has a really, really good record also on the first game of the season, so I won't be too stressed. No Haaland, yeah, welcome to the stream. It's probably unfamiliar to see. FPL Pickle, if you're still in here, let me know if Ross chickened out about going no Haaland. I don't know if you're still here, but let me know. Mbeumo or Rashford? So Mbeumo is a really, really interesting one. I was looking at a game week 9. Let me see if I can pull up FPL team real quick for the fixtures. FPL team. 2 seconds, lads. This is what I use to look at a lot of the fixtures. And I was looking at windows to wildcard. I think it's very interesting. Why is nothing coming up? This is my old team ID. Oh, it's broke. Oh, there you go. Okay. Anyway, so to the Fixture Taker. I really like the visual of this. This is why I use one of these. For me, it needs to be in red or green and white because I can't see it properly. I don't know. Maybe I'm colorblind or something. But yeah, so Brentford's fixtures, they start turning in game week 6. And I don't know what's going to happen with Tony, but even when Tony is there, Mbeumo works so well off Tony. And I feel like during 6 to maybe, 13, those fixtures are amazing. And it's definitely someone I want to hop on. So if you're wildcarding, if I was wildcarding 6, I'd be bringing in Arsenal assets, Brentford assets, and I dare say it, maybe United assets, Rashford. Look, like from game week 8 up to 13, it is very nice for United. But yeah, Mbeumo is a solid pick. I think he'd be very, very good this season. But we haven't seen him since his injury, to be fair. So let's see. Can you possibly not do Bruno to Garnacho and Nkunku to Foden and bench him for this week? Bruno to Garnacho and Nkunku to Foden. I actually haven't thought about that. And that is very interesting. Let me have a look. So, great input, by the way. Be sure to let me know in chat if you have any other shouts like that. I'll try to take them on board. Nkunku to Foden. Did I read that right? I think I'm tripping. Cannot do Bruno to Garnacho. Sorry, okay. Bruno to Garnacho. Deadline in 1 hour and 23 minutes. Can't believe it. I'm absolutely buzzing. I know I keep saying it. And no, 1 million off. Okay, so that's debunked. Okay. Muniz versus Wood. I want to say Muniz. Any love for Zinchenko? Yeah, I do think Zinchenko will probably get the first 3 games this season. Beyond that, though, not a fan. Not a fan at all. FPL Chris. When you considering wildcarding, I want to say, look, let's have a discussion about the 5 free transfers this year. I'm not so high on. I know a lot of people are. For me, I just feel like use them. Just use them, man. It's very, very unrealistic. You get more than 3 transfers. Never mind 5. I feel like the 5 are probably for the more casual person that plays the game. I don't know what I was saying there. But yeah, I just feel like, you know, especially just keep your wildcard. Just why not use the transfers to bring in Arsenal assets over the weeks, and then try wildcard as late as possible. So then that way your second wildcard is as late as possible as well. And you try to get the best out of it. Like, I have no issue next week, for example, if I suddenly get starstruck and I'm like, oh, I need KDB for Son. Just doing Son to KDB and not worrying about keeping the transfers. You'll see a lot of bandwagons this year, just like every other year. So be sure, like, to hesitate on your transfer and really think about it, because sometimes there is a lot of hype, especially in the first week, whereas you need to give players maybe 3 or 4 weeks to actually see how they get on. But yeah, for the likes of Son and Salah and Fernandez, like I can't see myself getting rid of them unless maybe after 3 or 4 weeks they're performing poorly. Whereas the likes of Diogo Jota and João Pedro, I have no issue getting rid of them after 2 weeks if they're starting to get benched. So yeah, that's my take on that. Are you in London now? Yes, I'm in London currently. I'm in FPL Focal's mom's house. So shout out Oscar and shout out Oscar's mom. Absolute legend. 100 like, thank you. Why isn't Mbeumo not talked about? I suppose because there's so many good value players, and with the structure of your team, it's very hard to fit in Nkunku and Mbeumo, Jota, Son, Salah, Palmer, Foden, etc, etc. Like, there's just so many good options, and with all the good 5 millions and 5.5 millions like Minta, Rodgers, it's very hard to fit them all in, man. And maybe like you don't starting the season with a Brentford player maybe isn't as appetizing. Whereas if you look at my midfield, you have a lot of the big six. Choi, are you sure Jota starts? I wouldn't say sure, but if I were to put money on it, I would say yes. Feel like it's easier to trade down from Haaland than trying to build up to him. I suppose it depends, yeah, if you don't plan on wildcarding. But the Haaland teams are planning on early wildcard. So the non-Haaland teams can also early wildcard if they want. So I wouldn't worry about trying to grab funds from the likes of Salah and changing them to a Haaland. I'd just click the wildcard button if I was really worried about Haaland. And that wouldn't be after 4 or 5 weeks. So best starting 4.5 Newcastle defender. Yeah, very hard like I said, but I want to say Lewis. 5 million keeper or 2 4.5s, who and why? I would say 1 4.5 keeper if it was me. 2 4.5s or a 5, I would say a 5. I don't really like a lot of the 5s though. You have Onana, you have Pickford. Maybe I'm missing someone else that stands out, but they don't really strike me as great options. Bruno Fernandes or Jota? I have Salah. I would say Bruno, if you already have Salah. Thoughts on Rico Lewis? Yeah, like I said about Rico Lewis, could be a deadly option. But only if Walker gets injured. I probably can see Lewis starting the first game. Your bench isn't visible, Chai. Okay, apologies. Let me get back to that. Sorry. There you go. My bad. Thoughts on... Sorry, what was that question? I'm on Son captain. Could really pay off. Yeah, could. He has a really, really good record against Leicester. For the 500 that are in here, again, no issue if you want to go Son to Saka. Saka's an amazing asset. And over a season... Saka will probably outscore Son, unless Tottenham really turn on the Jets this season. I would put my money on Saka to outscore Son, but it's the initial 5 games I'm backing Son to outscore Saka, if you look at it that way, and then to hop on Saka maybe game week 6, whether it's wildcard or just transferring Son to Saka. Where are we? Super chat from Taylor sends £5. Thank you, Taylor. Would you consider planning to do Gordon to Eze game week 4? If your only minutes risks are Hall, Kwanzaa and Jota, or you reckon you just start with Eze? You know what? I don't quite mind Gordon, especially if you're on the same mindset as me, where you don't mind using your transfers. I feel like Gordon is probably a safe bet, and those initial fixtures are very good. And then by the time game week 4 comes around, I want to say the transfer window is closed. And Eze's position, whether it's at City, if it's at Spurs, or if it's at Crystal Palace, it will be cemented. So, yeah, definitely not a bad shout at all. Captain Isak over Salah. Yeah, Isak will definitely be the most captain player this week. Emiliano Martinez is the best 5 million keeper. Definitely a controversial take. I don't know about that. Definitely not a bad option. Weren't you on Cells, mate? No, actually, I was never on Cells. Not that I can remember, anyway. Is Haaland actually worth it, says Light? I suppose that's the question. That's why we're all here. We don't actually know. Let me scroll through Twitter while we're here. We'll do a quick scroll. Spiros, man, I'm telling you, every single time I open my feed on stream, Spiros' team always comes up. If anyone that doesn't know, he does the AI team. He uses his own model, and this is what his game week 1 team looks like. And it looks a lot like mine. I suppose double Arsenal fence, what I don't have. But Son and Kunku, I don't have Eze anymore. Salah, Isaac. Very nice team. Okay, let's keep scrolling. We're going to see a lot of teams. Okay, another graphic from Rob T. FPL captaincy game week 1 options. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Let me, so you can see Saka. Okay. Latest goal projections. Isaac, the 0.88 expected goals. That is crazy. Salah 0.8, great. I'm surprised so many people are going without Salah, man. It's actually baffling. It's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. 500 people in here. By the way, if you haven't already, hit the like button. I appreciate every single one of you for joining me here. I know there's a lot of big streamers that you could be watching instead of me, but thank you to all of you. This year I'm trying to really put in an effort and improve all of my streams and all of my content in general. So if you want to follow my journey, be sure to hit subscribe as well. So thank you, lads. Sells or Henderson? Henderson for me. Henderson has been in my goal between the sticks the last week and a half, I want to say. And I just don't even want to give it the brain power to even give it much more thought. What is the best 6.5 mid by far? Nkunku. Nkunku is the best 6.5 mid. Will he be the best 6.5 mid for the first 2 game weeks? I don't know, but throughout the season I imagine it will be Nkunku. FPL Fest, FPL Radars team, nice team. FPL Go. No Rodri, people are starting Nkunku. Yeah, what do you think of starting Nkunku against City? It's not for me, and I won't be doing it. Again, like I said, I can understand it. Okay, let's get back to our team. Yeah, so I was exploring maybe, let's go through some of my thought process, okay? So, like I said, I had Eze here. And that gave me 1.5 million to put into Robinson to Guardiola. Now, on paper, Guardiola and Eze look so much better than Bruno and Robinson. But for me, again, it was a surety of minutes. Bruno is way more nailed than Eze is going to be, especially if he's going to get a transfer. But yeah, that's why we've kind of ended up with Bruno and Robinson. And I do like the rotation of Robinson and Barco. I think there is a good opportunity to pick up on some of these really good fixtures, and he's really good attacking threat as well. So who is nailed in my team? Do I want to say? I want to say Trent, Porro, Henderson, Salah, Jota, Son, Solanke, Isaac. Definitely nailed. I can't see myself going off them. How about no Salah, no Haaland, and instead pick Palmer, Isaac, Watkins, Solanke instead of him? I mean, it's definitely a case, and the no premiums could go very, very well. 0 in the bank, does it bother you? It doesn't bother me, but it's not ideal. Of course, in an ideal world, like that initial draft that I had with Bob, that had 0.5 in the bank, and it was perfect. But again, some things changed, and it's just how it is now, so... Keane says, on the ball, Troy. Great insight as a normal kid. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Could Son be your captain over Salah? Nah, I wouldn't say so. Game week 1 has Salah written all over it. Do you think it's worth getting Saka? Yes, 100%. I think the 3 best assets in the game in this order are Haaland, Salah, and Saka. And it's like, oh, why don't you have Haaland if you think he's the best option in the game? It's because 15 million. You can do a lot with 2.5 million of Haaland to Salah, and then you can do a lot with the gap of 2.5 million from Salah to Saka. So I understand both sides of the coin. It's definitely an interesting argument, and I wonder how it's going to pan out this season. There's going to be a lot of unfortunate people, and I just hope I'm not on the unfortunate side, because it is going to be one of us. Whether you have Palmer and it's us with Son that are going to suffer, or if you have Saka and he blanks, it's going to be minor margins in my opinion. What about João Pedro? Is he nailed? No, he's not nailed, but I only kind of need him for game week 1 and 4, so I'm kind of happy to just bench him otherwise. Chica says, you're looking good, Choi. Thank you. You're going to make me act up and turn on my full webcam now. I'm only joking, get away. Where are we? Captain Salah or Isaac? Salah for me all day, man. Fabio Carvalho is an insane pick. People overlooked for no reason. He's going to ball out for Brentford. Pops, you know what? I don't think that's a controversial take. It's just more so how he's gonna fit in the system, and like how Brentford are gonna be this season. With Mbuemo and Tony, you know, how does Carvalho affect that team? I'm unsure, so it'll be interesting. FPL Choi, what moisturizer do you use? You look majestic. No, it's just natural looks. No moisturizer. What about Rico Lewis? Yeah, like I said, if you want to go for a 1 week or 2 week punt, I mean, by all means, go for it, but not for me. Ahmed or João Pedro? João Pedro for me, penalties, and Ahmed I'm unsure of. Is Barco not a minute's risk for game week 2 and 3 when you need him to cover Porro? So game week 2 is fine. It's 3 and 4 where you need to cover Porro. I think I'll start Porro versus Newcastle away, maybe for a bit of attacking threat. Because when Newcastle do play at home, they go for the kill. They do try to score a lot of goals. So Porro could potentially catch them off guard, maybe on the break. That's the thought process there. Game week 4 when we play Arsenal, okay, fair enough. But game week 4, that's when you have Barco versus Ipswich at home. So yeah, I know Barco's not exactly nailed, but you'd like to hope come game week 4 we might get a bit lucky and he starts. Again, a lot up for interpretation. Choi, join me on the Sun captain train. Yeah, you're probably surprised I'm not captain Sun. Not today, not this stream. I'm sure at some point during the season it will come up though. Joey says no Arsenal, mate. Yeah, again, like I said, I am a Spurs fan, but again, it has nothing to do with the fact I support Spurs and why I'm going no Arsenal. Why is my camera so dark? Brighten up, man. What is going on? Please. But yeah, it's primarily because I feel like the fixtures for Spurs are better. Arsenal in the first 5, they play Villa away, City away, Tottenham away, and for me, I'm gonna probably wildcard in the likes of a Saka and an Arsenal defender anyway. So I don't mind starting the season without him. Does FBL Choi have makeup on? Get out of here. Hey, my man Choi. Why Robinson over Hall? Yuck. Mostly because the Gahey links. If a Gahey comes in, Byrne could be pushed out to left back. That's the thought process. My rogue pick is Gusto. Yeah, I just don't trust Gusto, or I don't trust Chelsea as a defense in general. They're always kind of dodgy, man, and I don't know. With the amount of defenders they have, I can't see him keeping too many clean sheets. They will be better than last year, though. What do you think of Maddison, Odegaard, Jota, and Gordon midfield? Minta as the 5th. I've not seen a midfield like that. Maddison, though, I would be wary of. Kulusevski has played so well in pre-season. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see... Timer ain't accurate. Man, how is this timer slower than real life? How is that possible, like? I swear this timer is just resetting or something. It is currently an hour away. Let me change that again. Hour and 9 minutes. Okay. Let's see. Hour and 9 minutes. Okay. George, let me know if that timer still isn't fixed in the next 10 minutes. Odegaard or Eze? Odegaard is actually an interesting one. I know a lot of people are giving out... Oh, okay. Let me get back to Maddison before I move on to Odegaard. Sorry. So, Maddison, yeah. Kulusevski could probably slot in that 10 position, no issue. He's actually been that good. And Maddison has been very, very poor, even in pre-season. Time dilation, mate. Maybe you're heavy. Maybe. It could be. It shouldn't be off by that much, though. You know what I mean? Odegaard is my captain. Yeah, no, Odegaard is. I wouldn't say a captain game week 1. I would say Saka versus Wolves is a good captain this week. What is your thought process for Salah instead of Haaland? Okay, let me try summarize this. How would I say why I'm choosing Salah over Haaland? I would say Ipswich away first fixture. Okay, unreal. Let me actually go to fixtures so you can see what I'm saying. Brentford at home, lovely fixture. United away, no problem at all. And then Forest at home, Bournemouth at home. And 2.5 million on top of what a Haaland would get you. Okay, so let's bring up Haaland. For me, it's just mostly about the structure of the team. Again, like I said, I have no doubt in my mind Haaland is probably going to get Golden Boot this season. And he might probably slot at least 2 away against Ipswich at home. But it's just what you can get with that 2.5 million and a Salah. For me, I just feel like, you're hoping your Salah can at least somewhat match Haaland, and that 2.5 elsewhere brings you places, basically. Maybe whether squad depth. For me, I couldn't go Salah and Haaland. Going Salah and Haaland, right, you're kind of stuck with transfers every week. You have money kind of spread, or you don't have money spread very well. And unless you downgrade a Salah or a Haaland, you can't really do much with your team. So that's why I wouldn't go both. And yeah, in general, I just think Salah's the GOAT, man. I think people are reading too much into touchline winner or whatever agenda you want to push on him. He is FPL royalty. Let me get back to some of your questions. Hi, Chai. Where is Eze? Yeah, so Eze is just not here due to some of the speculation. Kind of unsure on what is going to happen with him, to be honest. Are you starting Pedro? Yes, I'm going to start Pedro. If shit, I had 6 minutes delay. Sorry if you read my question like 5 times. All good, man. British87, big up Choi. You and Oscar shed, bro. Let me show you where I am. I am currently in his mother's house. We are in his mom's dining room. Which is kind of crazy because, usually we're just online streaming at home. And now I've somehow landed myself in London. And Oscar has been kind enough to let me stay in his house. So, happy days. So, yeah, if anyone's wondering, we're here because Fantasy Football Fest. I won't go through it again, but yeah, should be very, very exciting. And I'm looking forward to it. Munizer and Nkunku. I would say Nkunku for sure. Don't know if you answered, says Mokhtar. Is Barco not minus risk? 2 to 3. Yeah, he's for sure minus risk. Soccer Blocks says, I love the content, mate. Best 4.5 and 4.0 defender. Best 4.5 and 4.0 defender combo. In the first few weeks. Yeah, I would say Robinson and Barco. You have Barco for the first fixture. And you have Robinson for the rest, to be honest. But you could play Barco for the Ipswich 4 if he does play. Where are we? Son or Saka? I have Son, so there's my answer. Shit, let me close that graphic. Okay, let me go back into the pick team. I'm curious to see what other YouTubers are doing. Someone do some stalking for me, will you? Go into Oscar's chat and tell me if he has Haaland. I know he has Haaland, but if he has the armband on Isaac. All the boys at FPL Fest, see you soon. Who do we got here? I can't zoom in. Oh, we can. We will be there, man. There's like almost 400 people that have bought tickets, so can't wait for that, lads. Enjoy both. Oscar's following you. Yeah, that was funny. Where are we? Man, Twitter is so dodgy. A lot of people getting locked in before the deadline. An hour before the deadline. Let's go. Isaac, captain. How does your team look for game week 1? Very strong team. I do like the Gordon and Isaac combination. And when you see Gordon and Isaac, usually it is Jota instead of Salah and Haaland. I have question marks over Smith Rowe, personally. FBL Schofield, professional cricket player. What's he got? Sells, interesting. Van de Ven. That's the first Van de Ven I've seen in a while. I apologize if the lighting on the camera isn't the greatest, by the way. Usually I have a green screen, but because I'm away, I just couldn't pack it. I didn't have enough space. But yeah, this is a lovely team. Szoboszlai, another interesting pick. I'd be inclined to just probably risk it on Eze at that point and use the 0.5 elsewhere, but very good team. Spirit Mixer, if anyone's looking for a drink, head down to Fantasy Football Fest. Yeah, I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. That's why we're scrolling through Twitter. Again, I don't know if the 500 of you were in here when I showed you my new X animation, but let me know what you think of this. Spent a bit of time into that, so I hope it's appreciated. Let's see. Okay, let's get back to my team. Or no, let's do something in chat. Okay, let's do a captaincy poll. Way more E in here when the first time I done this. So it's going to be Isaac, Haaland, Salah. We're going to run it back. And I know a lot of people have already answered on this poll. And if you're going other, let me know in chat who you're going with. For me, it is without a doubt going to be Salah. 100% Salah for me. FPL Sausage Fest. Yeah. Sure. FPL try the timer reset. Man, this timer is useless. I don't know how it keeps happening like. I'm going to keep fixing it though, just because why not. I will keep fixing it. Hour and 1. Okay. Murphy punt, not bad. Son, yeah, I probably should add Son to that list. I know a lot of people are going there. Yeah, 46%, 50% Isaac now. Saka deserves a shout. Yeah, 100% Saka deserves a shout. Oh, your transition resets when you do the deadline count timer. Okay, thank you, Star Bonus. That makes sense. Thank you. Where's Other? Other is the chat British 87. Are you concerned with Liverpool scoring less under Slot? You know, that's a fair point. I'm not so bullish on Liverpool compared to other people, but I still do think they are still third or fourth best regardless. They won't be as good as last season. I feel like they heavily overperformed last season as well. But yeah, I think their goal output will be the same, but they'll be a lot more leaky. And I know they can try control games a lot better this season, but new management is always bound to happen that you're a bit more leaky compared to how Klopp was. I have a similar team to you, says Frank. I was thinking about maybe swapping Jota to Gordon, Robinson to Kwanzaa. Thoughts? I would hold on to Jota and Robinson in my opinion. Will Trippier start? It's hard to say. It's really hard to say if Trippier will start. I would say Livermento is more likely. I don't know why though. 46% currently on Isaac, 140 votes. If you haven't voted already, be sure to vote. And if you haven't already, hit the like button. Much appreciated to all 500 that are still in here. Is Welbeck worth a punt? Welbeck, I'm unsure of. I don't think so, especially with them signing another striker. It's not worth the risk. Just now, I've joined your live. I saw Haaland in your draft. Where is he now? I don't think you saw Haaland in my draft. That was just a team I made with Salah and Haaland, just to show what kind of way I would go if I were to go that way. You reckon Trip starts? Interesting. Joey K says, looking forward to the season. Thoughts on Solanke, Emil Smith-Rowe, Muniz, and Eze. Non-Spurs bias, please. LMAO. Okay, so I think the markets are projecting 15 plus goals for Solanke, and I think it's 5 assists roughly. And you compare that to Eze, who I think is projected 10 to 12. Okay, if we look at it like this, like on paper, okay, from a non-Spurs bias direction. Emil Smith-Rowe versus Muniz. I'm unsure. I have big question marks about Emil Smith-Rowe. Don't get me wrong. They signed him for a reason. They spent a lot of money. It's hard to say. I would be inclined to go Solanke and Emil Smith-Rowe only because you don't know what's going to happen with Eze. Got the same defense as you. Would you have Henderson and Munoz or Raya and Barco? I wouldn't want to double up on the Palace defense, so I would say Raya and Barco. But Barco would only be a fourth defender. I wouldn't have him as a third defender slot. Nick says, let's go. Yeah, we're almost there. An hour away. You plan to get any City for game week 2? Yeah, like I was saying, Dennis, maybe there's an opportunity to downgrade a Son to a Foden or a De Bruyne. If we get some team leaks, especially, it could look good. Why Jota over Gordon? Jota, when he gets minutes, he's going to score goals. That's it for me. What are you going to do in game week 3? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Choi, my baby brother. Trust me, if Isaac can't bag a hat-trick against McCarthy, Stevens, Bednarik, then I don't know why are we playing FPL. Isaac is the best captain we trust. Yeah, that's a fair point. But then you could also say the inverse of if Salah can't score a hat-trick against Ipswich, where they have Johnson and a few other players that I can't even name. You know what I mean? So he's just as good as an option. When I look at your team, I'm like, WTF, how do you not have any players from the second best teams from last season? Yeah, no, that's a fair point. That is definitely a fair point. Fixtures, I suppose. And if you're not going Haaland in attack, you don't really have any much choice to go elsewhere. Like I said, I did have Guardiola originally in the team. But we had to switch it up due to Eze going out the gap for me. Hi, my last dilemma, Gabriel or Guardiola? That is really, really close, John. I went Guardiola, but again, Gabriel is probably just as good, and it saves you a transfer if you're not wildcarding early in 6. What about Doku? Yeah, Doku could be good, but with Grealish probably coming back to fitness now, I don't know how nailed he is. Spurs fan, but Arsenal thumbnail. Kinda sus, brother. Well, just because I support Spurs doesn't mean I can't bring in Arsenal players. The reason Saka is the thumbnail is because I have Son now, and it is a big debate for me whether I go Son or Saka. As I do think Saka is also amazing. Leaf Davis got that dog in him. He might just pocket Salah. Yeah, fair point. Leaf Davis 4.5, great option. What happened to Eze? Nothing happened to Eze. It's just there since Bob's injury. We expect a bit. What am I trying to say? A bit more worry about Eze's minutes. Sorry, I was absolutely stuttering there. Someone said at FPL's Fran. Bro, you're on FPL Choi, not FPL Fran. That is so gas. Poro Guardiola. Guardiola if you have the 0.5. Ipswich will play super defensive, and we are our sleeping giant killers. We'll see, Dr. James. I hope you're right. Well, I don't hope you're right because I'm captain Salah, but for Ipswich's sake, I hope you're right. Poro Guardiola. Let me bring back up chat. Where are we? But yeah, absolutely buzzing to be back for these deadline stream, lads. I hope you're just excited to get the season started as well. By the way, join my mini league. Let me bring it back up to give you a chance to join while you're all here. FPL Choi. There's the code EH47SR. I will leave it on for a second just to give you a chance to join. I'll have a prize for the top 2. 100%. This should be a fun season, lads. I think the pricing is so good that there will be a lot of variation. There will for sure. And a lot of variance, and hopefully we get on the good side of it, lads. Again. I'll leave that up for a few more seconds. Hull versus Burn. Hull. Are you sure about Salah captain? Ipswich will park the bus. I mean, if Salah can't do it against Ipswich, I mean, I can't be confident in anyone. Taylor says, atting Fran is crazy. Yeah, bro, that guy is Spanish. He's not even Asian, like, you know what I mean? Light says, did you join the KSI League? Yeah, I did. 50k coming soon. So Isaac wins the captaincy poll by 53%. Crazy. I'm not surprised though. Maatsen thoughts? Yeah, Maatsen has been fairly quiet. I know at the start of the season a lot of people were talking about him. My thoughts, I'm kind of unsure. I don't know what to think of Maatsen, to be honest. Let me get back up my team. Okay. Where are we? Let's do a cheeky scroll on Twitter. I see FPL Tony tweet. I don't know if he's tweeting a City team leak or Triple H. Is this meaning something? Triple H. Is there anyone with the initials Triple H? Haaland? No. Okay. FPL Pickles. Some players I am worried about owning. Salah. Not owning, sorry. Salah, Palmer, Watkins, Gordon, Solanke, Havertz, Saliba, Guardiola. Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried personally about the likes of a Havertz. He's not too highly owned. Saliba, I would be less worried about than a Gabriel. But yeah, the rest are definitely fair. Risky business for sure. But you can't have them all, like I say. Can't have them all. Matt Turner, yeah. So if anyone has Matt Turner in a draft, get rid of him. He's gonna decrease in value. He's the most owned 4 million keeper, so for sure get rid of him. Trophy Mo. Palace are not in the best place at the moment, being stripped of all the best players. Eze likely to leave too. Yeah, I believe it. Okay, let's do something. Send me in some of your drafts via Twitter. For anyone that doesn't know, FPL Choi or Choi_FPL on Twitter. And I'll rate some of your drafts. And I'm going to be critical. Again, these are just my opinions. What do I know? I'm just a random guy on the internet blabbering on about your teams. Send me on some of your teams and we will rate them live on stream while you guys are here. I'll try throw some back for everyone joining in. Are you going to stream all your game week selections? Yes, there will be a team selection and then there will be a deadline stream every single weekend or if it's midday. Consider Son as your captain? No, not really. I just think Salah is too nice. Is Dogi a good choice? Yeah, I think he'll start. For sure. Not bad at 5 million. Best 4.5 forward? I don't think there is one. Why has no one got Watkins? It's mostly the Solanke hype, I want to say. What do you think of Raptors draft? Okay, let's actually go on to Raptors stream. And let's see what team he has. We'll bring it up together. FPL Raptor, where are you at? Reviewing FPL Raptors stream live. Hopefully, okay. Let's see. Raptor already has 5,300. Now he has 400 of us too. Let's have a look at his team. Yeah, so like I said, it's very similar to mine. I have Son instead of Saka, and I have Bruno instead of Eze. And other than that, he's Gabriel, and our team is the same. Very, very good team. I know last year he also went without Haaland. Be interesting to see if he carries on until the deadline. Okay, so it looks like we have some people that are after sending in their team. FPL or Jamie, let's see. Why is that so zoomed in? Okay, that's better. So this is a decent team. Decent. The bench is Rogers, Mikalenko, Harwood, and Virginia. Yeah, I do like this. Again, the only question mark I have is Hall and Smith Rowe. I don't know how nailed they're going to be for minutes, but this is a fucking solid team. Garnacho, yeah. I think Garnacho could be a spicy pick as well. Kwanzaa as well, actually. I didn't see him. I thought that was Trent. Kwanzaa, I am slightly skeptical on, but I would give that team an 8.5. It's a very solid team. Another one from Bascom. Sorry if you can't see the bench, by the way. So on the bench is Rogers, Mikalenko, and Barco. So another Haaland Salah team this time. Jacob Murphy punt, Eze Doku, Kwanzaa Munoz Guardiol. Ooh, this is nice. It's just, how can I be nitpicky? No, that's a solid team. I'm gonna have to give that a 9. What don't I like? Doubling up on the Palace defense could be risky. Jeremy Doku is interesting, but I haven't given it much thought, so I can't be too critical. And Jacob Murphy, I reckon after the second game week or third, you're probably going to want to get rid. But it's a very, very good team. Rate me, please. FPL hits. Let's go. Henderson, Saliba, Pedro Porro, Trent, Diogo, Eze, Nkunku, Saka, Isaac, Smith Rowe, and Haaland. Another Salah-less team. So, in my opinion, this is becoming almost a bit of the template. Now, template doesn't mean bad. But what I mean by that is the Haaland and no Salah is very popular. And replacing Salah with the likes of a Jota. This team is fucking bang on, other than maybe a Smith Rowe, I want to say. Smith Rowe might be, like, I'm still unsure about Smith Rowe, and he might prove me wrong. But, I don't know. I would give this team an 8.5. Very solid teams. I feel like it's very hard to see a bad draft, though, you know. Anyone that's watching FPL YouTube, they're going to have a fair idea on what to do. Eze, Gordon or Jota? Jota for me. Do you prefer Havertz, Nkunku, or Bruno Fernandes plus Muniz? Havertz and Nkunku sounds tasty. Please support our podcast on Spotify. That's our job. Well, there you go. Fish Sulla says FPL hits as me. Congrats. Robinson or Dunk? I prefer Robinson. My exact team says Civids. Yeah, so that just proves it is kind of the template. Like, you'll start to see a lot of the same teams. I'm just going to turn on this light because it's getting quite dark. One sec. I don't know if that's going to make any difference at all, but yeah, it actually did. Okay, so you can see me again. I had my team locked, but the Eze news made me mess, and yeah, so I had a 6-hour journey earlier, and I was in the exact same thing. Eze kind of blew my head off. HI, would you rather Eze and Odegaard or Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe? Saka and Smith-Rowe for sure. Okay, let's bring back up some of your drafts that you sent in. John McGinn, interesting name. Very nice team. You know what, I've seen Andy Martin start with a 4 at the back, and it's really weird. But yeah, this is a solid team. Very solid team. I don't know about benching Doku. I think that's interesting. And also starting with the 4 at the back. But then again, you do have a 4 at the back where it's the best defense in the league, and 3 of your defenders play 3 of the newly promoted sides. So it's not bad at all. And Rashford could be a very, very nice punt. Dima. Okay, this is going to be the last one before we have a look at our team again, and we'll get back to chat as well. Yeah, love this. So this is something similar that I made in my very first team. Instead, I had Richarlison because I wanted Spurs' attacker, and I had Darwin because Jota didn't exist at the time. But yeah, that's a solid team. I really like that, and I'd give that 9.5. Because the rotation with the bench with Guardiola and Nkunku is lethal as well. I know you can't see the bench. Okay. Let me bring back up the team, and let me bring back up chat and get back to answering some of your questions. I'd argue the template is a bit more of a 3-4-3 to be honest. But it's defo close. Yeah, for sure. What's the geezer Andy Martin is? I hope he wins it all, you know. Yeah, imagine. Andy Martin. What a guy. Gabriel or Saliba? Gabriel for sure. Pedro Porro or Guardiola? Rodgers or Emile Smith-Rowe? Rodgers. Smith-Rowe and Wood or Muniz and Eze and a 4.5 million. I want to say Muniz and Eze. Where are we? Choi, please help. Nkunku plus Gabriel or Smith-Rowe plus Trent? Nkunku and Gabriel all day. Ahmed starts from FPL newsletter. Shout out to who put that in? Taylor, I hope you're not lying to me, buddy. Ahmed, where are you at? I'm not seeing anything here. Quote me or tag me if you see anything about Ahmed starting, but I'm not seeing it. Newsletter are reliable though, but I don't see anything here. Okay, yeah, be sure to tag me in that if you think that there is a leak. I can't see anything though. Not a huge fan of Barco with S2 opinion back in training. Yeah, that's fair, but it's just what do you expect from a 4 million defender? I don't expect a lot. You'd be lucky to get some starts. So who are you captaining? For sure, Salah. It's not moving. Not a chance. Foden plus Garnacho or Jota plus Bruno for that long run. For a long run, I would go Jota and Bruno. Foden mightn't get game week 1. Barco or Konsa? You worried to show your Twitter search history? No, not at all actually. I'll show you right now. I've nothing in here. It's just I follow them, so it would have came up on my feed, and I don't see anything. Oh, okay. If you tag me, maybe Ahmed starts. Okay, there you go. Just like that. Cheers, lads. It was that easy. Can you make a team with Haaland, Solanke, and Isaac up top, please? I'm not going to do it right now, only because we're so close to the deadline. Appreciate you, lads, for tagging me, AJ Flynn. What are you going to do if one of your defenders gets injured / dropped early on, since you have two 4.0s? Yeah, that's a good point. I would say Porro and Trent have very slim chance. Same with Robinson. Okay, but let's just say Trent got injured. Trent got injured, I'll move him on. If Porro got injured, I'll move him on. If Robinson got injured, I would just risk playing Barco for a week and see if he starts. And hopefully get maybe the Southampton fixture in 5 with Ben Johnson. I'm pretty sure Ben Johnson is fairly nailed. Oina or Hall? Hall. Bone or Eze? I want to say Eze still, even with the rumours. Choi, who my 4 million bench goalkeeper? I would say don't have a there's no good 4 million goalkeepers. LFC Nat, thank you so much for tagging me. Appreciate it. Is there any content creator you want to at least be above this season? No, not necessarily. I always just say if I'm in the top K, I don't really care who else is in there with me. I'm happy with top 10K. Is there someone that I have like a little competitive thing with? Okay, let's say this. If I finish above Pras or FPL Fran or FPL Harry, it means I've had a good season. So if you look at it that way, any of those I'd be happy finishing above. They're all really good managers. Does that mean Garnacho won't start? No, not necessarily. Garnacho can play on the left. Rashford up top and Bruno in the middle. Any Tony leak might tempt you to get a City player next week. If Tony leaks a De Bruyne, I could be tempted for sure. Ahmed starts. Yes, Ahmed does start. Is Jota confirmed to start? No, but I would say Darwin looked off the ball and Jota looks really sharp. At FPL Choi, what are your thoughts on no Salah and Haaland draft? I got Son, Palmer, Saka, Eze, Odegaard, and Isaac, and Watkins. Yeah, so it's definitely an interesting discussion. What do I think? You really need, I think, Palmer to kind of stick out for you, and I've no doubt that he might. Is it better than the Salah and Haaland drafts? I don't think so. Only because captaincy reasons. So yeah. What is your league code? EH47SR. I've Gordon my team. Yeah, Gordon's a good shout. Southampton at home is lovely. Why Nkunku on the bench? I don't like starting Nkunku versus that City attack. I just don't fancy it. Why no Eze? Just for the rumours of him moving. We have 38 minutes until the deadline. How many are in chat of you are locked in? Are you locked in? Yes or no? I'm going to do a poll. I think I'm fairly locked. Locked, not locked. That's probably the best way to put it. I think I'm fairly locked on this team. I'm happy with it, to be honest. By the way, nearly at a new milestone of 23,000 followers. Almost there before the start of the season. Let's see if we can get there by the end of the stream. Ahmed Diallo starts. He does indeed. Okay. Do we have anything else? New players, FPL veterans. That's good. Tottenham signing Odegaard, definitely interesting. I don't know what that means for us. It's probably going to be between Madison and Kulusevski now. It's going to be between Johnson and Odegaard. Yeah, I think it's a good signing though. Half an hour until I head down to Fancy Football Fest. Oh, Chasing Green Arrows are deadline streaming as well. Shout out Dean. Hornbuckle, just because it came up, let's go through your team. Double Liverpool defense, not bad. Jacob Murphy, okay. I do love the trio of Eze, Saka, Jota. Smith Rowe on the bench. Yeah, solid team. Easy 8.5. I know I've said a lot of teams are 8.5 to 9. But again, if you're watching the FPL stream, you're likely going to have a good team because you're getting a lot of information. Quote on Watkins, expect him to start from FPL Villain. On whether Ollie Watkins is ready to go after being away with England this summer, the lack of preseason action. He's in the squad, but I don't know if he will play at the beginning or if he'll be late to play some minutes. I will meet him and talk with him. I will decide is he going to play or not. Okay. And there you go, Wilson with the shirt up. Deadly. I love transfers like that. I feel like I don't blame Fabrizio, it's his job. But he's taken a lot of the hype out of transfers. This is the first transfer in ages where I've not seen him get anywhere near. And that goes to any of the journalists, like even David Orenstein, which is unusual. FPL Sonaldo locked in. Big man locked in. Game week 1 I'm locked. 3 changes. João Pedro, Henderson and Dunk. Yeah, it's interesting that he's kept Eze. Very good team though. Dunk for the attacking threat, Consta for the rotation with Pedro Porro. Lovely. Which player will it be? FPL price, FPL points. Oh yeah, so okay. Who do you think is gonna be the budget player of the season who goes insane? Let's see in chat. First of all, what is that poll on? 54% not locked, 50% or 47% locked. So 53%. What are some of your decisions that you're not locked on? Let me know. Brandon says, lovely to see your channel grow. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it. Melody Gypsy says, hey, what about Ugochukwu and when he goes to Southampton? Yeah, I think Ugochukwu is a good player. I've heard great things about him. Dr. James says, great content. Glad you stuck with your draft and not just done it as clickbait. Yeah, it's fairly similar. Unfortunately, because of Bob, we did have to change a few things. HI, thoughts on Son Captain? It's good, but Salah is better for me. What rank do you think you will get this season? I can tell you what rank I hope I get. Anywhere in the top 10k. What rank do I think I can get? I reckon definitely above top 50k. Look, if for engaged managers, it's hard to even get at a top 100k. You need to be doing very well to get top 50, and then really well for top 10k. It's tough, man. It's tough. So many content creators are putting things on the plate for even the likes of myself, but the general public. So the casuals are getting much better at the game also. Actually, can I see your team? Yeah, sure. Here. There is my team. I don't think there will be any late changes. Rogers or Smith Rowe. Jacob Murphy. Garnacho says Sock. Sam says Smith Rowe. Omar says Ahmed. Nkunku. I think Nkunku is kind of expected to do quite well. Minta. I do love the Minta shout. Bergville says Matty. Absolutely love that one. Minta. Liam Delap. Interesting. Iwobi. Get away from me. SAJ says, I'm here for your accent just as much as your content. Yeah, glad you like the accent. A lot of people actually at the start when I started streaming couldn't understand the accent. By the way, I apologize for the lighting. Like I said, I am in Oscar's house, so the lighting is not the greatest here. But we will be back next week with the usual setup. FPL Dials says, best of luck, boss. May the best Dylan win. Yeah, best of luck, man. Talk about Gordon. So Gordon is probably how do I rank Gordon, Jota and Eze? Originally, before the rumours, I had Eze by far the best value. And I still think if he stays, he is the best value. It's just the uncertainty that keeps me on edge. Jota, because I think he will get minutes, and when he plays, he scores. That's it. Gordon, for the first initial fixture, I would say Jota, Eze, Gordon, as of right now. Liam Crowley says, noticed most FPL YouTubers don't have Gordon. Am I missing something? I just think it's primarily for the fact that Nkunku for 6.5 and Eze for 7 provide really good value. That's why you're not seeing a lot of Gordon. Cheers for the £1 donation from Dad's Air Job podcast. Shout out them. Regarding Saka versus Odegaard, isn't Odegaard a better value pick for the first 5? They play City, Spurs and Villa. But yeah, you probably want Saka because of the penalties though. Why triple up on Spurs players? Because I really like the first 2 fixtures, and I think we can score against the tougher teams in 3 and 4 and 5, or 3 and 4. Thoughts on Ben White? I think I prefer Gabriel for the 0.5 less, to be honest. Pablo says start Minta versus Evie. I don't know who Eve is, or Muniz versus United. I think I'll start Minta. Oh, versus Everton. Sorry, I will start Minta. Yeah. FBL Doctor, good to see you, man. Trent Hall, Barco Robinson, plus Guardiola or Saliba. I cannot decide. Whatever you say, I do. Look, I'm not gonna be susceptible for anyone's picks. Look, at the end of the day, it's game week 1. Go with who you think. Man, it is really dark. I don't know if I can fix that. Okay, that's better. But yeah, it is tough, man. I really do think that Guardiola and any Arsenal defender is a flip of a coin. You could easily see Arsenal maybe get 2 or 3 clean sheets. But then again, you could say the same with City. Am I really going with no City and Arsenal players? Looks like it, lads. So half an hour until the deadline. I just want the deadline to be here because I've been waiting months for this now at this point. Jota's a lock. Lazy says he starts. Oh, really? Is this true? How would he know that though? What's this? Where are we? Has anyone got any more information on that? FPL Shoy, to lock in my draft, Pickford, Munoz and 0.5 in the bank, or Gabriel and Henderson. For me, Gabriel and Henderson. No Saka? Yeah, only because I've got Sonny. Can I copy your team? Yeah, go for it. Nah, I wouldn't advise copying my team, man. What do I know? Genuinely. Time is off. Oh, man. I keep doing this. It's only off by a minute, though, so it's okay. A lot of people being locked in on Twitter now. Great to see. Diogo Jota starts. How do you get that? Like, I know they're playing 12:30 kickoff, but how do you know that? Like, that is crazy. Cheers for whoever put that in chat. Appreciate it. Diogo Jota starts. Now, Jota is a lock. 100%. Not that I was skeptical of Darwin starting, but Diogo Jota versus Ipswich can do some serious damage, man. Onana or Flecken? I would say Onana, you know that. Just for some random save points. And with Delict and Mazraoui coming in, maybe they can be a bit better. Deadlines in 30 minutes. This is true. Why João Pedro? Penalties. Is Gabriel nailed? Yes. Looks like Slott's team will be leaked. Yeah, likely. I suppose it's because it's the 12:30 it's being leaked. I think otherwise there's no chance it's being leaked. This close. Then again, it's game week 1 to be fair. Yeah, lads, I'm fairly content with my team. Let's go on to 11ify. Get some good data. couple of people asking site updates. Match predictions, match day 1. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, yeah, this is what we'll do. Let's rank who you think are going to win these games for the opening match day. Everyone's first fixtures. Any news on Smith Rowe starting? Not that I know of yet. So, without looking at these probabilities, I do think United will win tonight, and I think they're going to win 3-0. Don't ask me why. Just have a feeling. I think Liverpool will win plus 2.5 goals. I think Arsenal will win. I think Brighton are going to beat Everton. Newcastle will beat Southampton. Bournemouth to beat Forest. Villa to beat West Ham. Brentford, Crystal Palace draw. City to beat Chelsea, and Spurs to beat Leicester. If you have any differential picks than that, let me know in chat. But I feel like a lot of people will be going what I just said. The best nail 5.5 is probably Minta. Bro, what's Zinchenko? I don't know what that means. Can you rate my draft? Sure. Watkins, interesting. Watkins and Odegaard. Palmer. Who are you missing? You're missing... Oh, this is what you meant by the no premium. I like it, but the defense is a bit weak for me. Like, it's interesting that you went with a 5.5 keeper rather than a 4.5 keeper and a 5.5 defender. That's what I probably would have done. I'm going to give this a 7, but only because I feel like he can do a lot more with that 1.0 million at the back. But it's definitely different. And maybe you can downgrade a Watkins to a Solanke and upgrade one of the midfielders even higher. But yeah, it looks good. We're locked in. FPL Main Road. Very good team. I feel like I've seen it before though. Nice team. Also, I need to remember to screenshot my team before deadline. Oh yeah, let me fix the timer. 25 minutes. 25 minutes, lads. Get locked in. If you're not locked in by now, you've had a few months to do this. Anyone else have crippling anxiety before the deadline? Joe is absolutely chilling. Love this. Oh, that's class. Best 4.0. There is no good 4.0 keepers. You do weekly streams every single week, Tom. We will be there. I'll be streaming every single week, without a doubt. By the way, you might kill someone with that deadline timer. Yeah, don't worry, I fixed it. Bro, what are your thoughts on Zinchenko in exclamation marks? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Zinchenko's good for the first 2 weeks. But after one, like Taylor saying in chat, he's a risk. Ahmed or Emil Smith Rowe? You know what? I'd be tempted to go with Ahmed now that you know he starts. Thank you, lads, for letting me know in chat that we are messed up. We beat Bournemouth, says Andrew. Maybe. YouTube commentator says, who is the worst top pick player? That's a good question. Let's have a look. Who is the worst top pick player? Remove. How do I filter this by most picked? Team selected by percentage. I want to say right now or over a spell of game weeks, probably Foden, because he's not going to start game week 1. Now, you didn't hear that from me. That's just a guess. I don't think he's going to start game week 1. But out of these lot, alright, like realistically, Palmer is solid. We don't know like how Chelsea are going to be versus City. Eze is a really good pick, and assuming he's going to start that first game. Salah is an excellent pick. He's probably being underlooked at this point. Saka, again, probably third best pick in the game. Gordon has a really good opening fixture. Bruno I do like. Out of this list, probably Foden. Out of the strikers, it is probably Watkins. Only because he's not had a preseason. I don't like Martinez as a 5 million keeper, but that's just me. Only because Constance 4.5. 22 minutes until the deadline. Get your last few questions in. Shout out George, by the way, my moderator. chilling with us the last 2.5 hours. Appreciate you, man. Ahmed news. Ahmed is starting. We can confirm Ahmed is indeed starting. 26 subs away. Be sure to go over to Era's channel and hit that button for him, lads. I'm not gonna rate any more drafts just yet. 22 minutes until the deadline. 517 people in here. Diogo Jota starts. This is massive. I'm very high on Jota, lads. That finish that he done in pre-season where he hung at top left, like, that's just peak Jota, and he done it in more than one. He done it in like 2 or 3 games where he's returning. I know we shouldn't be looking too much into friendlies, but I do think definitely nice. If I get Oscar's dog back up on stream, be sure to screenshot it and send it to him. Let him know I have him hostage. Teddy, come here. Let's get Teddy back on stream. This is Oscar's mom and Teddy. She doesn't want to come in. Shout out Teddy, and thank you Focal again. Appreciate you, man. But he's the guy. Yeah, so Teddy thinks Jota is an amazing option. But yeah, see you later, Teddy. Where were we? Don't forget to sign up Lazy FPL. Yeah, Lazy FPL, lads. Unbelievable. I just don't know, says Harry. Smith Rowe or Eze, Pedro Porro, Ina. What would I do here? I think I would go Eze and Ina, personally, if I was in that predicament. Is Jota starting over Nunes? So yes, 100%. What do you think of Minte? Great. Minte is unreal. He will. I want to say he's going to start. Is Garnacho starting? We've not got confirmation, but we're going to keep an eye out on Twitter. We'll try to catch some team news. I'm actually going to throw on notice for FPL team newsletter. 20 minutes until the deadline. I keep doing that transition, man. I keep messing up the time. I'm so sorry. And it's going to kill Winnie. Yeah, again, if you see any leaks, be sure to put it in chat. Best 5.5 reliable defender. I want to say Porro. You like Havertz or Diogo Jota? Diogo Jota. The bench this week, brother, is August. Teams have 1 game week, no cups, no UCL, no Europe League, no Conference League. Okay, fair. That is a fair point. It's great to see all the drafts back on the timeline. This is not like someone's comment section. This is actually just the timeline. It's great. FPL is so back. FPL Frazier with the predicted lineup. This is just predicted. But yeah, I would love to see Bruno in that false 9 tonight, especially at Fest. It'd be great. Cameron Archer to Southampton, by the way. It's also interesting signing. I wonder who will be on penalties. 18 minutes until the deadline. Is there another poll we could do? Tilly Halley leaked. Hi Choi, says Elias. With a lot of City players not available, fully fit, and Bob injury, surely KDB is nailed for at least the first few games. Why is he going completely ignored? Yeah, I think a large reason for him being ignored is the lack of preseason minutes. I know he got a few minutes in the Community Shield game, but I don't know if that is enough for people to warrant him guaranteed to start. Yeah, I think he could be a really good option if he starts, but we don't know. It's uncertainty, and with an asset that's 9.5 million, sometimes it's not worth taking a risk. But if you're confident in him starting and you really think he's going to return, by all means, go for it. Thoughts on Mazraoui and Fulkrug? Yeah, okay, these are two interesting options. Fulkrug, I'm fairly skeptical of. I can't see him doing too well this season. I know in the Euros we've seen an absolute beast, but again, that was for Germany. Mazraoui, if he plays left back, Look, I think United are going to be leaky. I'm just not even going to sugarcoat it. Especially if they play De Ligt and Mazraoui. That means tactically, I don't think they would have had enough time to go through what they would necessarily have to. Like in a week's time, they're not going to get all that information across. So I can't imagine they're going to keep many clean sheets towards the start of the season. But maybe as they show up towards the end, 4.5 could be very good value for Mazraoui. Okay, let's go back on Twitter. We don't want to miss anything. We demand more. Analytics FC saying there's no review team. Yeah, this is what I mean. This is the exact team I keep seeing. It's a banging team, though, to be fair. Erling Haaland, best asset in the game, no doubt. Highest net spend, interesting. Doesn't look like we're gonna get much else before the deadline unless they're holding on to something. Again, we're gonna stay on Twitter just because we don't want to miss anything. And if something does come up, be sure to spam it in chat. Solanke and Saka or Havertz and Eze? Solanke and Saka for sure. But Man United don't have tactics at FPL Choi. I suppose you could say that. Taylor says Shamaka, Fulkrug gives him Shamaka vibes. Yeah, Fulkrug is old as well, so I don't know. Maybe with Paqueta, Bowen, Somerville, he might get some good service, but let's see. Scrolling on Twitter is risky these days. Yeah, absolutely. But that's why I try, you know, at the end of the day, stuff is going to come up. But this is a non-under 18 chat, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. FPL Pickle is locked in. 24th season has nearly arrived. Feeling nervous but excited. Backing Haaland to do well. I'm interested to see if Ross went with no Haaland and Ross's girlfriend got Haaland. That would be gas if they went two separate ways. It's good to see though. That is a very good team also. A very nice team. No Salah though. No Salah. I need Salah to do well. 447 people in here. If you could hit the like button before you go, if you're going to go anywhere. We're not going to go anywhere until the deadline though. I want to see who breaks that Bruno is starting tonight. I don't know if that implies that Bruno is starting. Enough gazing, throw me into the abyss. So many Isaac captainers. Yeah, man. I'm actually, if Salah blanks and Isaac does something, man, it's not looking good, Brev. It's not looking good. How realistic is that? I mean, it's definitely possible. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Okay. Last look at my team. Alright. Another thing, make sure you refresh your page just in case. And make sure if you're doing transfers to click the save button down here. You don't want to know the amount of people in Game Week 1 who forget this function exists on the website. And by the way, I'm shocked at the amount of people that use the website rather than the app. I've been an app guy forever. But yeah. Yeah, I think I'm happy with the team. 5 penalty takers. 1 that's playing tonight, very important. 2 really nice fixtures for the 2 premium defenders. And Barco Robinson to fill in with Leicester at home and Ipswich away. Man, yeah, I really do like this. What could let me down? If I'm thinking about it, okay. What could let me down heavily is if João Pedro gets dropped. Then I'm forced to start Nkunku, which I'm going to do anyway. But what do I do with the João Pedro money is the real question. You know, 5.5. Do I just drop him down to a 4.5 and invest $1 million elsewhere? I'm unsure. Do I see João Pedro getting dropped though? I think it's very, very unlikely. I think he is probably one of their best players, if not their best player. Carrot says, would you have any hesitation on Eze or would you just go for it? Well, I've had hesitation on Eze, so that's why I didn't go for him. Again, we're going to keep refreshing. 10 minutes until the deadline. Well, 11:20. Man, I'm loving the transfer saga. I think we'll see one more signing for Spurs as well. I'm excited. Rumors Garnacho benched via men. Bit of early team news. Let's take a look at this. Interesting. I don't know if any of you saw this. Where is the part that it speaks about Garnacho? Garnacho has the potential to get even better as time. Garnacho's feels like his ability. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see the part where it says that. Let me see what the comment section is saying. Not worried about Nkunku minutes? No, not really at all. I just think Nkunku is lethal and he will get a lot of minutes. I don't read too much into him getting subbed early either. 8 more minutes, lads, or 9 more minutes until the deadline. There we land. Man, that stuff is actually so gas. Very nice team here, actually. Interesting. This person, don't trust the source. Okay, good. Thank fuck I saw that. I see my front three suggestion made the cut. Wissa Calvert-Lewin. Bro, what am I seeing? Get that off my screen. This terrorism football. Team news. Oh, this post was deleted by the order. Okay, I can't even see what it was. Mbeumo or Rashford for the first few game weeks. Oh, yo, I'd just be inclined to go with Rashford and get Mbeumo later in the season. Have no idea where Nkunku starts though. Like, what does that lineup even look like with Palmer and Jackson in? Palmer on the right, Jackson up top, Nkunku in the cam. That's how I see it anyway. Hi man, are you locked? Yes, I am fairly locked. One quick team look again. This is me. Again, please make sure your team is... Look, you can refresh it and it's the same team. You don't want to get caught by that. And if you're activating any chips, make sure you click save your team. Whoa, almost there, almost there. Let me see how Oscar's getting on. Oscar is literally down the road. We'll be meeting up in like 5 minutes. Does Oscar's chat know anything that we don't? I think we're good, chat. I think we're good. Okay, he's promoting his stuff. I think we're good. Murphy start? Question mark? I don't know. I would assume so, yeah. But again, Murphy's probably going to be subbed around 67 minutes if you don't mind that. Jota as captain. Not for me. What do I think of Jota captain? I think if you have Salah, go for him. Choi too sneaky. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're talking about. Kwanzaa or Barco for game week 1? I don't know. It's a tough one, man. Barco's on the corners. But Kwanzaa against Ipswich, you'd like to think that they'll keep a clean sheet. I don't even know if I want a clean sheet at this point with the amount of people doubling up at the Liverpool defence. You know what I mean? Or am I just better off hoping that he blanks and Trent gets a return? Because everyone has Trent at this point. Like, it's interesting topic of debate. Huge statement. I didn't see this. Newcastle were confident they were on the verge of a breakthrough. Yeah, lads, there is so many good teams on the timeline, and even the ones he sent in, like, it's gonna be a really interesting season because everyone's kind of gone their separate ways. Focal is locked in. What's Focal running? Haaland, Isaac, Eze, Saka, Bruno, and Kunku. Man, that team is amazing. That team is very, very good. So, no Salah. I have Son instead of Saka. And I have... Who do I have instead of Smith Rowe? Diogo Jota. Okay. Good team, good team. Simply FPL. Shout out Sam. He's actually the one that got me really, really interested and got me one of my best finishes in FPL. Simply FPL Sam. What a legend. This is him though. Very similar team to my own. Interesting to see he's gone Gordon though. Over on Eze. He got persuaded. 5 minutes until the deadline, lads. Again, I can't thank you enough for nearly all 500 for joining me. Out of everyone that you could watch streaming, I don't know why you'd listen to me waffle, but we really appreciate you here. And we're on the way up, lads. Each stream is going to get better. We're going to try to implement certain stuff so it's more interactive and I can hear and get better feedback from everyone. Is it okay to have two 4.5 rotating keepers? It is okay, but it is a head wreck. I'd just go with one of them, to be honest. Wood or Eze? Please help. Eze all day. Nkunku or Gordon for game week 1? Game week 1, Gordon. Minta, do I start him? Yes. Any Fulham team leaks? I'm not sure. Did you see Spiros' AI team leak? Yeah, I have. It's actually very interesting. I like it. We love you, Choi. Thank you, Finn. Kevin says you have the best accent. Appreciate you, lads. Choi, start Anderson or Rogers, please. Rogers. Always start an attacker. Will Solanke start? I want to say so. That team clear of yours? Nah, impossible. No team can be clear of Choi. Impossible. It is very good, though. Haaland equals fraud. Ahmed starts. Okay, so it doesn't look like, again, I'm going to be spamming this refresh because this time last season there was chaos at Fantasy Football Fest. It got leaked that Gabriel wasn't starting and Saliba was. Here we go. Nice team, Matt. I don't know about this, lads. I don't have anything solid on it. I can't find it. Again, I wouldn't. I take it. I wouldn't take it at face value. We're unsure if Garnacho starts. Who plays on the left though? If that's the case. As it stands, FPL has 7 million managers with 21 hours left. Historically, the last day sees a huge rate of sign-ups, so I'm predicting we will get close to surpassing 9 million teams. Mad. I'm mad. Keep refreshing to be safe. Double Liverpool defense, not for me. Not for me, only because I'm unsure about Kwanzaa. Players have new images. Oh yeah, for real? Is this true? No way, they do. That's class. We're back. We are so back. They actually updated the game. Wow. Unreal. Haven't seen... Oh, nice. Lovely. So we've got the ball Salah in the house. Man, I'm telling you. Listen. This timer's going to be off. You're not ready for the ball Salah. I'm telling you. This ball Salah is gonna be different. Just wait. But yeah. No Haaland. Salah. A new season of FPL. FPL Choi is going with no Haaland again. I don't know for how long. I can't guarantee that I'm going to do it for the season or anything. I know I done it for 30 weeks last season and we done very well. But realistic, it is unrealistic to do it for the whole season. And at some point, I'm sure we'll bring him in. Again, thank you for everyone in chat, lads. I'm going to head down to Fantasy Football Fest after the deadline. Let me know in chat if anyone's going to go down. Any last questions? Fire them in chat. I'll show team. Okay. I'll show team just for any that's late. This timer's wrong. Let me fix it. Hold on. I'm going to change it to 1 minute and 30. Fuck. Okay, 1 minute has to do. 1 minute it is. 2 minutes until the deadline though. Last 2 minutes. Aerodynamic Salah. We heard it from Choi before anyone else. Aerodynamic Salah. Brilliant. Any last just in case, any last leak? Doesn't look like it. I got no notification. Lads, we're on the verge of hitting 23k followers. If anyone wants information or some updates about my YouTube or anything, come follow me on Twitter. I post very, very often, and I'll be posting my team most weeks on there too. I'm going to screenshot my team and post it on Twitter before I forget. I always seem to forget. Okay, lovely. What am I going to caption this? Ezero Nkunku. Bruno captain, yes or nah? Nah. Son to Saka, last 10 seconds? Nah, no chance. I know I said I came close, but halfway through the stream, I kind of was decided on Son. Salah gets the armband for me. What am I going to say? No Haaland. We go again. Deadline is about to pass in about 15 seconds. Oh no, it's oh shit. Here we go again. No, it's no Haaland. Let me control Z. Get away, crop. Before everyone leaves, again, thank you so much. It's been a really good stream. And I'm gonna call it in about a second. Let me bring up the chat just so we can say our goodbyes. Wishing everyone the best. Yeah, this is gonna be a mad L season in my opinion. It's gonna be a tough season, lads. But again, it is a marathon, not a sprint. So don't get too frustrated. A lot can change in a matter of weeks. So yeah, that's me, lads. I appreciate every single one of you for joining me. And I will see you in a video. There'll be a team selection coming and maybe some of my top picks. And there will of course be a deadline team come Sunday, I want to say. No, actually me and Gianni are on Fantasy Football Scout on Sunday. So if you want to listen to some of our thoughts for the games from Friday and Saturday,